Hello everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'll be doing a toy review, but first, Happy Halloween! Halloween comes to Japan tomorrow, and it isn't really celebrated as much as it is in America, but as an American, wanted to tell you Happy Halloween. Today I'll be doing a toy review from the newest Kamen Rider figure. My previous review, I reviewed this form, and he is Kamen Rider Fourze, and he is a new character. One thing I want to point out is, last time I mentioned that how it's unlike the last couple of Kamen Riders where there was really intricate and interesting interchangeability. This one doesn't really have that much kind of intricate interchangeability, whereas this character, Double, he can split in two and you connect him with another character. And as you have seen my reviews of O's, he split into 3 forms and he combined with them interchangeably. This one, he has weapons that can be fit onto the other characters. And at first I didn't like it per se, but I kind of realized why they went that direction. Although it might seem like a step back, it is kind of also a safe step. Let me show you what I mean. Here is a box of the new Kamen Rider form. He is called Kamen Rider Fourze Electstate. Now I want you to take a look at the price. This is actually a little cheaper than most stores. This store wanted to sell it for $26, $27. Normally he is $28 to $29. Now if you have many characters from this series that interchange with each other, do you really want your son or your child to ask for 5 of these guys? That's $150 right down there. So I can understand why they wanted to go through a more simpler route. If a child wanted to buy one character, it's a lot easier and a lot more fun than buying someone like this guy, where you would need to shell out another $20 or $30 so you can get a new form. This is, in other words, self-contained toy. Alright, now let's take a look at the box. Now, as you see, he comes with 4 different modules. He is a yellow form. If you do not know why he's yellow instead of white, is because of this particular sword power-up. His body changed to match the electrical output of the sword. Then we come with the camera module. The camera module is based off of the hamburger spy robot thing that's also part of the series, which I'm not going to get. The hopping module, or the pogo stick, which was also in the TV show. The camera was in the TV show just recently, by the way. And here we have the chainsaw module, which debuted in the first episode. On the side of the box, we see him holding his sword and then kicking with his chainsaw. On the other side of the box, this is his part-time job as a cameraman for News Channel 4. I mean, will be probably after the show is over. Him showing his camera module, and then here we have using his hopping module, which is kind of an interesting way to have his rider kick. On top of the box, we just show the title of the series, Fourze Module Change Series, and that it's number 2 of the series, and his name is it's even in English, Romanji, romantic letters, Kamen Rider Fourze Electstate. On the back of the box, we have a picture of him doing his major attack move with his sword, called Limit Break. To the side of it, we show that although they do not have an extremely complicated interchangeability, there is some interchangeability between characters. Here we show the actions of the pogo stick. Pogo stick has some movement, and the chainsaw, it has some movement as well. And this is a taste of things to come, possibly the next Kamen Rider. which I believe will be a Fire State character or version, which was debuted today in the TV show. Now, before I bought him, and I was looking at him in magazines, I was worried that he was going to be a direct... I'm sorry, this is plastic. I was worried he's going to become a direct coloring of the former toy. Seeing the fact that it is very similar to this model. Closer inspection reveals that although there are some very similar parts, there are some, not all of it is going to be similar. As you see, his forelegs, his shins, are practically the same from the knee down. And for this arm, from the elbow down, it's the same toy. But beyond, after that, everything else is slightly different. True, he has the same articulation points, which is, he has a movement in his waist. His arms are fairly movable. His wrists are fairly movable. Has hands, 2-finger hands, and his legs. They have the same amount of articulation. One thing I noticed after my last review was that the foot can actually turn around if you're very careful, giving him like a broken foot or something. I'm not sure if this will be used in another part of the series, but hey, it's an interesting gimmick. One problem that I found out about the posability has to deal with his shoulder pads. The shoulder pads prevent him from moving his arm straight up like so. Instead, what you can do to move around that is turn the arm a little bit as such. Although these are not very strongly put on, they do allow some flexibility. One thing to point out is this clip-on section here is actually smaller in comparison. As you notice that this is a lot wider, this is very narrow. This keeps from having anything attached to that. I will take the satellite module I used in the last review and attempt to show that. Okay. Although you can put it on, it does not stay on. Whereas this side, it will slide on and you hear a click and you can take it off. Again, I want to point out something I said in my previous review. I just moved, and while I was unpacking my toys, I discovered that my O's figures had been broken, a design flaw that's basically caused by an elbow. If you apply too much pressure on the elbow, it cracks right here. If you see that happening, you can glue it, and that will prevent any damage. But on a safe side, to keep everything more or less together, I recommend you taking off these modules by first applying pressure on the wrist and on the top of the module to slide off. If you just pull off the module like that, there's a good chance you may cause a crack here. Okay, now let's take a look at his fun dandy modules. First, his sword. His sword module isn't really more than just a hand-holding weapon. The wire does not move any place. I understand in this TV show he has different places the wire can be attached to add extra sound effects. Not in this case, which is, what can you get? What can you say about that, you know? Next is the hopping stick, the hopping module, the pogo stick. It has some movement, probably as much as a ballpoint pen. The top of the tip of the ballpoint pen. To put this on, you move the foot down just a little bit so it can get into the step, and you press up. And here you have him jumping around. Yay! I'm going to take him off because it's kind of difficult to stand with that module on. Next, I will take a look at this chainsaw. The chainsaw, much like the missile launcher from the previous one, allows your character to stand very easily. All you have to do is tilt the foot down and slide up. And there you have it. Then you can move the blade down, and there you have it again. Again, due to the fact that these parts are the same toy, practically, the same mold, these parts are interchangeable. But then again, if you do not have the other toy, it does not detract the play value of the figure itself. Whereas with the other two series, if you do not have any other characters, it detracted the play value to some degree. Next, I want to quickly show you the camera. Slide the camera on, and he has the viewfinder has some movement, can tilt, and it can swivel, which kind of makes me wonder why they did not do that with the satellite module. That would have made the toy a lot more interesting. Anyways, thank you for your time and have a good day. Bye bye.